in this elite group of Disney princesses. Can you believe it?
No, not at all. It's unbelievable. I mean, I look at that girl and I have no idea what I'm looking at. It's really quite wonderful to be a part of the Disney family, and obviously to join the league of so many wonderful live action princesses, but also so many that have been depicted in animation as well. This is the flagship animation that made Disney what it is.
The problem with our society can be found with Snow White and what's going on with Snow White. We have too many people that don't know what it's like to actually work.
So, did Rachel Zegler's career hit a fairy tale ending, or did it crumble faster than a poisoned apple bite? The unfolding drama surrounding the Snow White live-action remake has been nothing short of a storm, with Zegler at the eye of the chaos. From her controversial remarks to rumors of backstage tensions, the once rising star seems to have found herself in a whirlwind of public scrutiny and professional fallout. But the juiciest part of it all? Rumors are swirling that Zegler is now seeking forgiveness from none other than her co-star Gal Gadot, hoping the Hollywood heavyweight might help salvage what's left of her career. A leaked video allegedly shows Zegler humbling herself in front of Gadot, pleading to mend fences and fix the damage. So how did it all go so wrong for the young actress? Let's dive into the drama that's shaking Disney and Hollywood to its core.
You're crying on that stage.
When am I not crying in public? It's so upsetting.
Why were you crying?
Oh my gosh, I saw the well, we didn't even see. But I saw the logo and I went, that's my name. Snow White's up there, and I cried my eyes out.
It all started with what should have been a dream gig for Zegler, a starring role as the iconic Snow White in Disney's live-action remake of the classic 1937 film. Fresh off her Golden Globe win for West Side Story, Zegler seemed perfectly poised to step into the limelight as Hollywood's next big thing. But instead of a career-defining moment, this role has turned into a public relations nightmare. From the very beginning, Zegler's casting sparked controversy. Critics were quick to point out that the character of Snow White, famously described as having skin as white as snow, is being played by an actress of Colombian and Polish descent. While many applauded the decision as a step toward inclusivity, others labeled it as yet another example of what they called woke Hollywood. Zegler didn't exactly help matters with her own comments. In interviews, she openly criticized the original Snow White for its outdated portrayal of women, dismissing the prince as a stalker and calling the love story weird. She even doubled down by saying, "People are making these jokes about ours being the PC Snow White." Where it's like, yeah, it is because it needed that. While some saw her comments as a bold feminist take, others viewed them as a direct attack on the nostalgia tied to the original film. Disney fans, protective of the studio's legacy, were not amused. Social media erupted, with hashtags and memes mocking her statements, and the backlash only grew louder.
I know that you've told me before that your version of Snow White is different, and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
But Zegler's troubles didn't stop there. She also waded into political waters, a move that proved to be even more incendiary. In the midst of promoting the film, Zegler posted pro-Palestine messages on social media, including one that read, "And always remember, free Palestine." This post reportedly sent Disney executives into a panic, as the studio was already dealing with a divided audience. To make matters worse, her co-star Gal Gadot, who plays the evil queen, is an outspoken supporter of Israel, having served in the Israeli military. The tension between the two actresses was palpable, with insiders claiming their differing political views created a frosty atmosphere on set. Rumors swirled that Disney was forced to ramp up security for Gadot after she received threats in the wake of Zegler's post.
You get cast for Snow White, and of course, if you are a business like Disney, you are leaning into what the movie Snow White meant to the people that were raised on it. People like me who watched Disney princess movies when the world was okay, and it was acceptable for us to dream about being a princess as a woman and meeting a handsome prince. But oh no, these big bad feminists now are telling us that's ridiculous. How dare you want to meet a handsome prince?
If that wasn't enough, Zegler further alienated a significant portion of the U.S. audience with her comments about former President Donald Trump and his supporters. After the 2024 election, she posted on Instagram, "May Trump supporters and Trump himself never know peace." The backlash was swift, with conservative commentators and social media users accusing her of being out of touch and divisive. Ziegler later apologized, saying, "I let my emotions get the best of me, but the damage was done." Her words had already alienated a large chunk of potential moviegoers.
A totally stable thing for her to be posting, wishing harm upon Trump voters, wishing that we have no peace. And I actually thought she wrote the exact statement, Skylar, that she wanted us to have, like she wished explicit harm.
Behind the scenes, the drama only intensified. Reports began to surface about alleged tensions between Zegler and the film's crew. Insider whispers suggested that Ziegler's outspoken nature and willingness to challenge the traditional Disney narrative rubbed some people the wrong way. One source claimed Rachel was passionate, but not everyone saw it that way. Some felt she was difficult to work with, especially when it came to creative decisions. Add to this the rumored feud with Gadot, and it's no wonder the set was described as tense. So where does Gal Gadot fit into all of this? As an established A-lister with blockbuster hits like Wonder Woman under her belt, Gadot has been a stabilizing force for the film, or at least that's what Disney hoped. But even Gadot hasn't been immune to controversy. Her vocal support for Israel, particularly after the October 7 attacks, has drawn criticism from some corners of the internet. Despite this, her star power remains intact, and she's seen as a reliable box office draw. It's no surprise, then, that rumors suggest Zegler may be turning to Gadot for help in repairing her shattered image. According to insiders, Ziegler has been privately reaching out to Gadot, hoping to smooth over their differences and enlist her support in turning things around.
Backlash for various reasons in the lead up to its release. Ziegler had called the original Snow White movie dated and weird and said Prince Charming was a stalker.
A leaked video allegedly shows Ziegler in a vulnerable moment, asking Gadot for forgiveness and pleading for her to put in a good word with Disney executives. In the video, Ziegler reportedly acknowledges her mistakes and expresses regret for how her actions have impacted the film and her co-stars. While the authenticity of the video has yet to be confirmed, its existence has been enough to set the internet ablaze. Fans and critics alike are speculating about what this means for Zegler's future and whether Gadot will agree to help her.
The movie, hey, Snow White, yeah, let me tell you about Palestine and Israel and how bad Israel is and how bad Trump is. Okay, that's not going to help sell the movie. You've just divided the country in half, so you've lost half of the revenue we could have had because you pissed off half the country.
But not everyone is buying Ziegler's mea culpa. Critics argue that her attempts to make amends are too little, too late. Jonah Platt, the son of producer Mark Platt, has been particularly vocal in his criticism of Zegler. In a now-deleted social media post, he accused her of dragging her personal politics into the film's promotional campaign, writing, "Tens of thousands of people worked on this film, and she hijacked the conversation for her own immature desires." Hyde comments have fueled speculation that Ziegler's actions have not only damaged her own career, but also jeopardized the livelihoods of those who worked on the film. Meanwhile, Ziegler's supporters argue that she's being unfairly scapegoated for the film's poor performance. They point to other factors, such as the controversy over the portrayal of the Seven Dwarfs and the film's hefty production budget, which reportedly ballooned to over $250 million due to delays and reshoots. Some fans also suggest that the backlash against Ziegler is rooted in sexism and racism, with critics unfairly targeting her because she's a young Latina actress in a high-profile.
You can have that in your persona, but when you come out and the freedom of speech was to condemn the very thing that you're paid to build? Are you kidding me?
And the drama continues to unfold. One thing is clear. The fallout from Snow White is far from over. Ziegler's career, once full of promise, now hangs in the balance. Whether she can recover from this series of missteps remains to be seen. But with rumors of industry, blacklisting, and potential financial repercussions swirling, the stakes couldn't be higher. And as for Gadot, only time will tell if she decides to extend an olive branch, or if she lets Zegler face the consequences on her own. The fallout from Rachel Zegler's controversial actions has sent shockwaves not just through her career, but through the financial and legal framework surrounding Disney's live-action Snow White. And here's the kicker. This isn't just about bad press or awkward red carpets anymore. The stakes have escalated dramatically, with whispers of financial losses, internal Disney chaos, and even potential legal consequences hanging over the entire debacle like a dark cloud. Did you think the drama ended with Zegler's feud with Gal Gadot? Think again. The plot thickens, and this time, it's not just reputations on the line. It's millions.
Talk numbers scream. People are screaming. Disney, get it together. Who is the Disney's customer? You talk about this all the time, Pat.
So let's start with the big question. Rogers, how much has Disney lost because of this mess? According to insiders, the financial numbers for Snow White are nothing short of catastrophic. The film, which cost a staggering $270 million to produce, has reportedly failed to even come close to breaking even. With a dismal global opening weekend of just $87 million, it's clear that this remake has landed in what industry insiders call bomb territory. For context, let's compare it to Disney's other live-action remakes like Beauty and the Beast, which raked in over $1 billion globally, or even the less popular Dumbo, which still managed to pull in over $350 million worldwide. In contrast, Snow White is shaping up to be one of Disney's most expensive misfires in recent memory.
Parents looking at Disney being like, what are you doing, guys? Like, this is supposed to be a place where magic happens.
And here's where it gets even more interesting. Rumor has it that Disney executives are scrambling to figure out exactly where it all went wrong, and Rachel Zegler's public controversies are being pinpointed as a major factor. An internal analysis reportedly revealed that audience interest in the film took a nosedive after Zegler's polarizing comments about the original Snow White story and her subsequent political posts. While Disney has yet to confirm any of this publicly, the timing of the fallout is hard to ignore. Adding to Disney's headaches is the ongoing debate about whether the studio misjudged the cultural importance of Snow White as a property. Some insiders believe the creative team may have altered the source material too much, pushing away longtime Disney fans who hold the original animated classic in high regard. The view is that Snow White is more than just another movie. It is a foundational piece of Disney's identity. By straying too far from the original, the studio may have jeopardized the trust and emotional connection audiences have with the brand, combined with the controversial casting choices and shifts in the story's themes. It seems Disney faced significant challenges before production even began.
The audition for Snow White, or like, oh, they saw you in West Side Story, they're like, you're Snow White?
West Side Story was kind of nowhere near coming out. We were about like 6 months away from release and no footage had been seen. And I actually got a really glowing recommendation from Steven Spielberg to Mark Webb, who directed Snow White, saying that, and I also got a text from Steven kind of alluding to the fact that I had gotten the part before I had found out.
The timing of the film's release has also been called into question. Industry commentators have noted that Snow White debuted shortly after a series of other live-action adaptations, such as 2023's The Little Mermaid, which underperformed. While The Little Mermaid eventually found its audience, its initial numbers fell short of expectations, hinting at a growing fatigue among viewers with Disney's remake strategy. Launching Snow White so soon after may have only worsened this issue, as audiences appeared less enthusiastic about yet another reimagining of a cherished classic. This has led to the perception that these films are becoming predictable and overly commercial, which many feel has diminished their original charm.
Did you know, like, was it a secret project when you auditioned for it?
With all of these Disney things, it's like the Marvel, Star Wars, Disney live actions, you have no idea what you're reading. It'll say like untitled Disney live action film, and the sides will have different names. It'll say like Amber and Jeff. And so I was reading for Amber, an untitled Disney live action.
Compounding the problem, Disney seemed to struggle with how to approach the marketing of Snow White in light of its controversies. Insiders claim the studio was divided on whether to highlight the film's progressive elements or tone them down to avoid further backlash. This internal uncertainty may explain why the marketing campaign appeared unusually subdued compared to Disney's usual standards. For instance, advance ticket sales only began less than 2 weeks before the premiere, a stark contrast to the extended promotional period typically seen with major releases. For a film of this size, the seeming lack of confidence in its rollout was noticeable and only added to speculation that the studio was expecting a disappointing performance.
Your family's like a bunch of Disney, like crazy Disney people,
Yeah,
right?
are,
Including
yes.
your dad?
Yes, my mom and dad's wedding song was A Whole New World from Aladdin.
Wow.
I was bred for this.
Would they take you to Disneyland, Disney World when you were a kid?
I went to Disney World. Truly, like, that was our vacation, our yearly vacation, the four of us, my sister and my parents and I, and they go without us now.
But the financial fallout doesn't stop there. Beyond the box office numbers, Disney is reportedly bracing for losses in other revenue streams tied to the film. Merchandise sales, which are typically a goldmine for Disney's princess franchises, have reportedly underperformed. Retailers are said to be struggling to move Snow White-themed toys and apparel, with some even discounting items just weeks after their release, a rare and troubling sign for a Disney property. Additionally, the film's streaming and home entertainment prospects are now in question. While Disney Plus has been a strong platform for the studio, There's speculation that Snow White may not perform well enough to justify its sky-high production and marketing costs, even in the long term.
About Israel and Gaza, I don't care at all. I care a little bit more about Rachel Zegler having like an underlying amount of contempt for the intellectual property.
And then there's the legal side of things. According to industry chatter, Disney is allegedly exploring its options when it comes to holding Zegler accountable for the financial damage. While it's unclear what legal grounds the studio might have, some insiders suggest that her public statements could be viewed as a breach of her promotional contract. Typically, stars of major films are contractually obligated to represent the project positively, especially during its promotional phase. Zegler's comments about the original Snow White, coupled with her politically charged social media posts, may have crossed a line, at least in the eyes of Disney's legal team. But what would legal action even look like in this case? Some industry experts speculate that Disney could pursue a financial settlement, seeking damages for the perceived harm to the film's reputation and earnings. Others suggest that the studio might use the situation as leverage to renegotiate Zegler's future involvement in Disney projects or, more likely, to quietly phase her out altogether. After all, Disney has a history of distancing itself from controversy. Remember how quickly they replaced James Gunn before rehiring him for Guardians of the Galaxy? It's not out of the realm of possibility that Zegler could find herself similarly sidelined.
We're still waiting.
You see yourself as the evil queen. You are not evil. You are not evil. You're a queen, but you're not evil. What was it like seeing yourself as the evil queen for the first time?
We did not see the clip, so I still haven't seen anything. But when I was in makeup, just like she said, we got to work with such an amazing crew, and it was just like the best it could ever be.
And let's not forget the whispers of a potential industry-wide blacklisting. While the term might sound dramatic, it's not unheard of in Hollywood for actors to face unofficial career roadblocks after high-profile controversies. Some insiders are already speculating that Zegler's opportunities may dwindle in the wake of this debacle, with studios wary of taking on the potential baggage that comes with her name. One anonymous casting agent reportedly shared, "Studios are in the business of mitigating risk. Right now, Rachel Zegler is seen as a risk." Of course, not everyone agrees with this narrative. Zegler's defenders argue that she's being unfairly scapegoated for the film's underperformance, pointing out that other factors, like the backlash over the portrayal of the Seven Dwarfs and the overall fatigue with Disney's live-action remakes, may have played a larger role. They also note that Zegler is far from the first actor to face backlash for expressing political opinions. In fact, some see the criticism of her as evidence of a larger double standard in the industry, where young women and people of color are often held to harsher standards than their. Still, it's hard to deny that Zegler's actions have had a ripple effect. Her pro-Palestine social media posts not only fueled controversy, but reportedly created significant challenges for her co-star Gal Gadot, who has faced her own share of criticism for her support of Israel. According to sources, Disney had to increase security for Gadot after she received threats tied to Zegler's posts. The tension between the two actresses has also been a major talking point, with insiders describing their relationship as strained.
There's been so much buzz about this and about you. What's it like hearing people say all these really nice things?
It's very validating. A lot of hard work has gone into this film, but so much love, truly, speaking for myself and also for the filmmakers behind it.
And then there's the question of Zegler's future. While she has other projects in the pipeline, including a West End production of Evita, it's unclear how this controversy will impact her long-term career. Some believe she could bounce back, pointing to Hollywood's relatively short memory when it comes to scandals. Others, however, are less optimistic. As one industry insider put it, Rachel is talented, no question about that. But talent alone isn't enough. You need to be seen as someone people want to work with, and right now, that's not the perception. But here's the thing, Zegler isn't the only one facing fallout. Disney itself is under fire for its handling of the entire situation. Critics have accused the studio of failing to adequately manage the film's promotion and of mishandling the controversies surrounding its cast. Some have even called for a reevaluation of Disney's strategy when it comes to live-action remakes, arguing that the studio's reliance on nostalgia is no longer enough to guarantee box office success. As the curtain falls on this dramatic chapter of Rachel Zegler's career, we're left with more questions than answers. Do you think Zegler's actions were justified, or did she go too far? And what about Gal Gadot's role in all of this? Should she extend an olive branch, or let Zegler face the consequences alone? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective on this Hollywood whirlwind. Until next time, Stay tuned for more celebrity buzz.